And welcome to Outlook Video, your nationally recognized award-winning news magazine for LGBT communities. I'm Tom Smith.
Hi, hello viewers. I'm Christine Conkle. Feeling confined by a conservative and religious Midwestern upbringing, dreaming of excitement and adventure? These questions and many more are brought to us by author Jason Anthony, who wrote his second book, The Reverie Bubble. He joins our own Jay Raley later in our show for thoughts on this continuation of Jason's adventures from his first book, Amsterdam Angel.
Where do you go when you're gay and you know it? Want your bingo number called by Mona Lot Moore? Looking for a hot vintage connection? Or maybe you want to check out the buff and beautiful actors in the acting workshop. After all, as Mae West said, it's not the men in your life that matters, it's the life in your men. Stay tuned as Gabrielle Antolovich, board president of the Billy DeFrank LGBT Community Center in San Jose, joins us on Outlook Video to talk about workshops, events, and other exciting news from the center.
We'll close out our show with coverage of the parade and celebration for Silicon Valley Pride 2015.
Let's join Jay Raley in studio now with author Jason Anthony. Take it away, Jay.
With average high-tech salaries nearing $200,000 and a 997 square foot Palo Alto home selling for $3.4 million, $1.1 million above the asking price, some people say that here in Silicon Valley we are in the midst of an economic bubble. But another type of bubble, the Reverie Bubble, is the narrative biography titled by Jason Anthony's newest book. Taking place mostly in the quaint town of Laguna Beach, California, Jason reveals his process of coming out to himself, his friends, and then to his family. It's a journey full of adventure, including experimenting with drugs, promiscuous sex, fear of rejection, and many memorable characters. In a continuation from his first book, Amsterdam Angel, where Jason reveals his first gay sexual experiences and the loss of an older brother, Joe, Jason plants himself in the bohemian community of Laguna Beach at the ripe old age of 25 to continue where his last book ended. Jason, welcome back to Outlook Video.
Thank you for having me, Jay.
So, why the title Reverie Bubble?
At the time I moved to Laguna Beach, it was a very fable-like town to me, far from anything I would have imagined growing up in Michigan. And living on the ocean in beautiful beaches, it just was a quaint, charming, fairy-like tale.
Well, the way you describe it, it seems like a no-brainer then to choose to live there. But what was the decision process? I mean, you were in Michigan at that point, right?
Right.
And you wanted to come out. So what was the opportunity that led you there?
I was doing a lot of traveling at the time, and I was planning on traveling to Australia, and I had a friend who moved there to go to grad school, and he had invited me to come stay with him. And when he brought me to Laguna Beach, I fell in love with it and decided to stop. And then I had kind of pushed away coming out, and so when I got to Laguna Beach, everything finally caught up with me, and I had to stop and just face my issues and deal with them.
So this is the second book. Now the first book deals with your adventures in Amsterdam, and it's the Amsterdam Angel book. And it was actually, you mentioned it was a lot of, where you got your courage to continue was that your brother Joe died.
Right.
And so that was an impetus to just go there and take the risk.
Right. He died at 22, and it kind of shook my views of mortality and that I could die at any moment. And so I wanted to do everything that I could do before that happened to me. And at the time, you know, my passion was traveling, and I wanted to see as much of the world as I could. And
you had some adventures in Amsterdam Angel of gay sex and becoming familiar with it. Now, can you describe the process of coming out to yourself?
It was when I traveled. You know, I was in places and countries where nobody knew me, so it was a lot easier to
Anonymous.
make up a new identity or be the person I was trying to become.
Right. So I think one point you were using another name for yourself.
Michael.
Michael. Very good. Well, what did you tell yourself about your gay encounters before you came out to yourself?
Well, I was raised Catholic, so it was a lot of denial.
Okay.
There wasn't, I thought it was a phase, like many people who come out, and I just didn't think, it was an outer body experience. I didn't really see it as myself, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was almost...
It was like preparation for training, or anyway, it's just a mystery to me to because it came out very early. So I could wonder what that process is like.
Yeah.
But were you ever afraid in that process of?
I was afraid of telling my family, of course,
Right.
and you know, living that life and finding acceptance.
But in your journey, you learned to tell people, and you came out to people. What was the best reaction? What was the best kind of reaction you got from a person? Is there anything that's
The
memorable?
best were just the simplistic, okay,
okay,
great,
yeah,
you know,
I already knew, or
okay,
I could have
yeah,
guessed,
or they didn't care. It
Yeah,
didn't matter.
right,
you know,
right.
Which was great.
Well, who was the most difficult to
The
tell?
family, of
the
course.
family,
Yeah,
the
of
family,
course.
and was
The
did
parents.
they accept it? And
Yeah, they were shocked, which shocked me.
you thought they already knew.
Yeah, I thought they had some inkling through the years, but you know, no, they didn't.
You know, you are you come from a conservative background, and yet, you know, there's a lot of details of sex and drugs in your book. How do you manage to be so transparent?
It's what I did, you know what I mean? I had a brother who died, and I used drugs to kind of go through that, and then coming out as well at the same time, and it just, it worked, you know. I used it for a purpose, for an escape, of course, but at the same time it was kind of giving me new stimulus and euphoric feelings to look at life in different ways and meet people.
Okay, and you had many adventures after you came out. You went to different places. Can you talk about those a
Right,
little
when
bit?
I come out, the Reverie Bubble is more about, when I did come out, it was, all right, what do you do with your life now?
Right.
You spend all this time, you know, building up to this one moment,
Yeah.
and then that one moment is done,
Right.
and you haven't spent the time to think about, well, what after that? And so when I finally did come out, it was like a blank canvas. So it was, you know, just dreaming whatever dream I wanted to dream next. And the Reverie Bubble was a beautiful place. Laguna Beach was a beautiful place to do that, because it was such a picturesque paradise with the ocean and the beaches, and it just prompted to dream. And so I had a lot of dreams of travels, and it's living an unconventional life, a life I never would have imagined, and find myself in situations where I was wearing a sailor suit and selling blinking and glowing toys to children in Sydney, and then found myself in England at Oxford University studying bartending and club promotions, and having a second chance at a gay life in
Tell me you're not done. You've got more books
college.
to come.
Yes, I've
All
got,
right.
they're part of a series. There's going to be 4 total.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Well, we'll have to have you on the show again.
Yes, thank you.
Well, we have to leave our viewers hanging on for more tales to come. To order his books and to get more information about Jason and his adventures, turn your browser to www.amsterdamangel.com. Until we meet again, Jason, good luck.
Thank you, Jay. Thanks for having me.